Hi everyone, welcome to More Than One Opinion. This is Jinnie Day from Ultrafine Car Care, and I have with me a good friend and colleague, Rodi Nammour from Revive Clinics.
Welcome to More Than One Opinion. My name is Rodi Nammour. Just a little bit of a background on me. I'm the CEO of Revive Clinics. Had the clinic over Sydney for the last 5 years. Have a big background in counselling. Been doing it for over 15 years in various churches. So at least I can assist in certain questions.
Rodi, you actually have been extremely inspirational to me since we have met. You have such a calming, soothing presence. I'm just like the Taurus, a fiery bull that just sort of like goes off the handle.
No, thank you. Look, hopefully we can address certain topics that viewers in the past and also colleagues and patients have requested. So the main topic today will be playing the blame game and how to combat that.
It's true. I think a lot of people who are, battling certain challenges in their life, they are so angry at the world, or they think that the world sort of owes them like something, as if they need to fix their problems. But you need to get to a point where you need to take accountability for things that are happening, in your life. It's fine to obviously reach out and ask for help, but I think the crucial piece of the puzzle is that you can't constantly play the victim and be like, pity me, and not really take any action to rectify anything in your life.
Correct. Look, so what I feel, Jenny, is most of the audience will be indirectly playing a blame game of some sort. We all do it. We all fall into the trap. So for me, it's to address this issue and to allow you to identify it, because if you don't identify that you're actually doing that, you'll never be able to rectify it. And if you don't, it will damage your life. You'll blame others, you'll blame your parents, you'll blame your upbringing, you'll blame your partners, your friends, your workplace. You play the whole sort of victims game so you don't have to fix the situation. So I'm hoping I can touch on that for this little segment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've been guilty of that as well, myself, definitely, especially in my 20s. You're still figuring out who you are, and when things are not going your way, you just be like, well, I'm going to blame, as I said, my parents, my family, or things at work or whatever it is, everyone but yourself. It's you need to get to a point, get it together.
Correct.
And I think you just take a step back also from society and sort of reflect on what's sort of happening in your life and be like, hey, what can I do? What actions and steps I can take to fix that?
Look, I mean, it will be from ongoing segments that we'll touch on a larger sort of topic for the blame, with the blame game. But I believe if we can touch on a little bit, just some tools that the audience can use, we can use, overall you would better your situation and your chances of succeeding. I believe the issue lies from the beginning, either when the person was younger, the upbringing, like I said before, their parents, culture, pressures. So in order not to fix the problem or to sort of better themselves, they put this sort of this face on of, well, it's not my fault. If things were different, I would behave differently. The truth is, no one owes you anything. And as soon as you identify that, you know what, I'm in this on my own and I'm the one that's going to get myself out of this, once you do that, your mindset changes, your mentality of the way you see things changes. You no longer blame the situation, but look at it and say, okay, well, how can I fix this? Okay, cool. It's the cup's half empty. But why don't I look at it and say, it's half full. What can I do with what is full, or what I actually do have? What talents do I have that will allow me to get sort of to another level or to better my situation? So I'm not sure if I told you in the past, I grew up in St Mary's. So St Mary's is towards Penrith. At the time, I mean, now St Mary's, you say St Mary's, people are like, oh yeah, well, it's still it's a western area, but it's still okay.
It's developed quite a lot.
But when I lived there, no, it wasn't. So if you said you lived in St Mary's, it means you lived on the other side of Sydney, which means pretty much you're not going to have a chance in life like everyone else in Sydney. I mean, we're shooting at my clinic in Double Bay now. So it's a big difference in terms of St Mary's and Double Bay. But I could have easily fallen into the trap and said, well, you know what, I'm in St Mary's, I'm never going to change, this is all I have, and then left it at that. And there is a lot of people who I know that have done this.
Have the mentality.
Well, they're still in St Mary's.
Yeah.
Not saying you don't need to not live in St Mary's. Look, you know, if you live in St Mary's, good on you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that whole mentality where I can't better myself.
Yeah.
This is how I was born. My parents didn't give me opportunities. I can't get any better than this. This is it. So if you think that way, then you're going to stay that way. But if you think outside and say, okay, well, what do I have? What talents do I have? What have my parents given me? Not negative, positive things that I can use this to better myself. Not saying that everyone needs to become a millionaire. And in terms of that,
no, absolutely, no, it's not about that. But like you said, it's like, don't sit here playing the victim and say, "Oh, this is the situation I've been born into. Don't have the power to change it."
Correct. And this is where I touched on where initially I did play the blame game, and I thought, well, how could I? I mean, I'm in St Mary's. My parents can't even afford tutors. I can't study because I want to get to different levels, but I can't because the issue is I can't afford a tutor to get me to that level. So what do I do? To be honest, once I finished school, I started working night shift. I was doing security, and in the daytime I would study. And during that time, I would actually get a tutor to come and tutor me.
Wow!
So all my mates outside playing
on your own accord.
My own. No one could help me. No one thinks. So I thought, okay, what are you going to do, Rodi? You could easily fall into the trap with what your mates are doing outside, or you could better yourself and change your lifestyle eventually, and better things. So I was actually the reason why my parents moved from there, and bought a nicer place, and I helped them with their house when I was 20. So like all these things basically was because of my mentality of refusing to accept that this is it, or blaming, because it's easy to do that. It's easy, but then so what? You're blaming, but you're still in the same spot.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get better. So it just gets worse.
Yeah.
So how can I fix this? How do I change this? So I'm touching on a little bit. Obviously, you know, it's an hours and hours of.
No, that's phenomenal. But like,
there's a lot of things you can do. You know?
No, but you are a living example of, you know what I mean? Take control of your life and not just accept the circumstance, environment that you're in, and just be like, well, this is it. This is as far as I can get, or like, you know what I mean?
Look, the issue which I feel is whether it's cultural, whether it's the area that you lived in or you were brought up in, whatever it is, they allow the environment or the people around them to impose their limitations on them. Once you're allowing people to put their limitations on you, then pretty much if they haven't achieved anything in life, you're not going to either. If they were unable to, it's like, you know, the small towns. People never get out of the small towns. And if they do, the rest of the small town looks at them and frowns on them, like as if, you know, who are you to do that? But that person wants to better themselves. It's not about getting out of the small towns, or it's nothing to do with that. I love small towns. I love all that stuff. But what I'm saying is that mentality of changing and being able to say, no, I don't need to accept my future because it's based on someone else's. I'm able to basically say, no, what have I got? What tools do I actually have? What talents do I have? And utilize them to change my circumstance and my future.
Now, that's obviously professionally, you know, that's great advice for people who are wanting to, you know, wanting more out of life, who are ambitious and have big dreams. Now, I've come across a lot of people who, you know, are very switched on, very academically, extremely smart, successful people, but in their personal life, it's a completely different thing. They just, like, there's so many people, you know, that have come to me that are in that same situation year on year after year, complaining about the same thing, but just not doing anything about it, just stuck in that vicious cycle. You complain about the relationship, and, you know, predominantly that's pretty much what it is. You know, complain about the relationship, it's that and the other, like, and they're just stuck in that rut. You know, that's obviously a harder thing to get out of.
Look, it's a tough one. That's because, I mean, there's multiple answers to this question.
Of course.
But let's address sort of one of them. The main sort of thing is, I feel, is that, for instance, let's say in a partnership, whether it be marriage, whether it be business, whatever, what I find is the person that is gone into this sort of and has this mentality, has gone into this partnership, they rely too much on the other partner or the other person to make them happy, or to sort of make them become more successful. When on the other sort of hand, you as a person need to be going, no, hang on, I'm happy with or without this person. And if that person's also happy with or without me, now when we're with each other, we'll complement each other. And actually, this is an awesome relationship.
And bring out the best in each other and not have a toxic environment.
That's exactly, like, I actually was, before we started this segment, I was just reading through, and it said that Will Smith once said that the other person should not make you happy, nor are you obliged to make the other person happy. That person should be happy, you should be happy, and then when you're with each other, you're both even more happy. So it's not that that's too much pressure on other people. That's also along the line of the blame game, where pretty much you blame others because you think they could fix your situation.
Correct.
When in fact it's you that can fix your situation.
People just don't seem to, I guess, be able to come to that mindset. And look, I love being able to help people, but sometimes when they keep harping on the same situation, it gets a little bit draining, and it's like, well, it's kind of falling on deaf ears, and I feel bad, but it's like, well, I just don't know how to help you because you just not taking that step to change anything.
Look, in terms, I'm not going to attack or think, but what I find is, I find if the person has the same issue year on year after, like it just doesn't change, despite multiple advice, assistance, everything that you would provide or someone else would provide, that person is more of an attention seeker rather than a person that actually wants to solve their problem. They love the attention, but they don't actually want to solve the issue. So in saying that, like, I've been serving at my local church for over 15 years. And when I say 15 years, really much longer than that, but that's where I was accredited because I'm an accredited pastor. So I'm basically recognized as a pastor in the Baptist churches. I've done theology and other things. So during that time, I mean, not hundreds, maybe thousands of people that I've gone through and I've counseled. Many do sort of change as soon as they sort of get a bit of a tip, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I never saw it this way. Others I find are in the same vicious circle where it's blame game, it's attention, it's all these things, but they're not going to change. So that's the one that you're addressing. It's very difficult for those people to change.
And I feel bad. Like, I feel bad not being able to, I guess, provide a solution. But what can you do? Sometimes you have to give the tough love and just be like, well, you kind of need to, take accountability for your own life and sort this out sort of like yourself, you know what I mean? It's just...
Look, I mean, in terms of things, I've done it. Like, I've had to do it many times. I'm like, look, do you really want my help? Because I find you just want my sympathy. You want my attention, but it doesn't look like you want to... It's like coming to a psychologist, telling the same thing every single time that you come in. The psychologist tries to assist you, but you don't want to change. That's because you're a victim of your own environment and your own mindset. You don't want to change. So until you want to change, it's like someone that, for instance, loves eating junk food. Until they want to change and stop eating junk food
no one else
to lose weight, no one's going to be able to make you. I can hide the junk food because that's just because I'm trying to help you. But if you want it, in the middle of the night, you're going to go out and find a 24-hour Macca's and
or Uber Eats.
Or Uber Eats. So it's a matter of you wanting to change. Once you ask for help and you really want to change, not because I think there's something wrong with you or you need to change, that you know that there's something wrong yourself. And you need to fix it, then you will be open to people assisting you and bringing you to the next level. But if you're not open-minded and you don't want to, it's never going to happen.
Exactly. Very, very true. Thanks for touching on all the points, Rodi. You've always been very insightful.
My pleasure.
And you definitely have opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and perspective. I'm seeing things a lot more differently, and assessing before
Thank you.
flying off the handles first.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I think it's sort of an open topic, though.
Yeah,
If someone specifically, like out of our viewers, wanting a specific thing to be touched on along this same sort of segment and topic that we're touching on, then by all means, please send us a message, and we'll put it into our to-do list to actually address those topics.
Definitely. So follow, like, and subscribe to our channels. We'll have our social media handles like at the end of the video. But thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.